What's up, fellow Saiyans? Welcome to episode 34 of my Marvel Mini Paints. Today we're doing Blob. Last week I did Toad. The next video will be Pyro. I'm getting the Brotherhood. They work as a team. He is primed in uniform gray. And yeah, him, Blob, and Pyro all work together as a team when you face them in the game. So to start him off, we're going to use Barbarian Flesh, and we're going to be using a lot of it because, I mean, there's not too much to his costume. So, a lot of leg, a lot of thigh, a lot of arm skin. So, like, by the time I finish the first coat of this, by the time I reach the bottom of them from the top, like the top's already dry, so I could, like, you'll see after I finish the whole first coat, I just go back in to paint another second coat right on top of it because the top of them has started to dry by the time I finish the bottom. So that kind of works out nice to give you two coats in one sitting. This video is being sped up at like 8 times its normal speed. Usually it takes about 2 hours on average to do one of these. Like I said, there's a lot of skin on this man. So next, we're going to use Desert Yellow, and we're going to use this for his hair. His hair is like a blondish color. And once this is dry or finished, we're going to move on down to the base of the figure to let that dry, and we're going to use green skin for the base he's standing on. I know you can't really see it right now, but it's because I'm getting up underneath him. Alright, for the majority of his costume, we're going to use deep blue. And again, we're going to be using a lot of that as well. Blob's real name is Fred Dukes. His power is that basically once his feet are planted, you can't move him. He's stronger than average people and stuff, but like he's not like as strong as the Hulk or anything. His mutant power is that once he's standing still, once his feet are planted, you can't. There's nothing on Earth that can move him. Make sure you get his boots too. And add a little bit of a second coat where I can. Now we're going to use Demonic Yellow for his belt, and then there's like a couple strap looking things up on his shoulders, as well as like his wristband things he has. And as always with yellow, it takes a couple coats. And right here, it's just, you kind of just want to be careful you don't get the yellow onto the blue. I mean, it's not too bad because if you use blue later, it'll be easier to cover up. I guess it'd be worse if you got the blue and the yellow. Go back out a little more to the skin, and then we're gonna use oak brown. You can see the ground he's standing on is like broken and stuff, like because of him standing there. So like in the grooves and on the edges of some of the rocks he's standing on, we're gonna use oak brown for that. Now we're gonna use matte white for his eyeballs, just to get a coat of white in there. We're going to add another coat of the yellow. Right now I'm using my detail brush. I'm just going to go all around the figure and kind of clean them all up before the washing process begins. Blob's a frequent member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Magneto. He first appeared in some of the earlier issues of X-Men. I want to say like issue 4 or 5. No, I think maybe 5. Now, once he's all dried off and it's time to start our washing process, we're going to use Flesh Wash, and we're going to cover him, all his skin, with the Flesh Wash. And you could see, you might want to use less than I did, because you'll see here in a minute when I'm finished, I might have overdone it a little bit. Even though when it dries, it clears up a bit, but I think I may have overdone it. You can kind of see what I'm talking about there. Now I'm going to use soft tone for the yellow and the blue. Sorry, I'm going to use strong tone for the blue and the base. And once I'm finished with that, I'm just going to sit and let him dry. And then once he is dry, it's time to start the highlights. But before we do, I'm going to use crystal blue, and I'm going to use this for the iris on his eye. Because the Blob has blue eyes. So I'm just going to put 2 little dots. And we'll come back to that crystal blue, because that's going to be the highlight for the blue color. But for now, we're going to go back to his skin. We're going to take our barbarian flesh we had earlier, add a little dab of mummy robes to lighten it up, and we're going to almost kind of like dry brush this over the lighter parts of where the light would hit his skin. And this should help with kind of, you can see the washing, how it made him a little overshaded. Hopefully we could use this process to kind of bring back some life. Now, once we're finished with that color, we're going to go back. I had to go back over where I shaded a few spots. Or no, I'm going to use the demonic yellow, and I'm going to use that as shading the highlights for his hair. And then we're going to take moon dust, and we're going to use that as the highlights for the demonic yellow. And I'm going to use this same way I did with the skin color, almost like a dry brush method where I'm soaking it up with paint, drying it off, and then just applying it to the areas where the color would be lighter. Next, we're going to go back to that crystal blue that we used for his eyes. And we're going to dry brush this, but we're going to use this for the color, for the blue color on his outfit. Now we're going to use necrotic flesh, and we're going to use this for the base. We're going to dry brush this over everything that's on the base, on the bottom. Now, for the last part, we're going to, for his pupils, we're going to take matte black, and we're just going to put a little tiny, tiny dot on each eye, just right in the iris. And that's going to do it for the Blob. I mean, being that I overshaded him in the beginning, I don't think he looks too bad now. You'll see another close-up after in here in a second. But that's going to wrap it up for another one of our mini paints. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Sometimes I'm not always doing it live, but to catch live painting sessions, either follow me on Twitch or on Facebook. You'll be able to see them when they pop up. Just look for Saiyan Elite. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to get notified of new episodes when they come out. That way, you know, it'll come right to you. But thanks for watching, guys. And later, Saiyans.